All right. I think it's working now. It is working now, so we'll just go ahead and go with it. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. After a bit of some technical errors, we're all set up and good. So I am joined by a wonderful YouTube group by the name of Reidus and Cletus. We have Alex and Clayton, who are the host of the show. Hi, Alex. Hi, Clayton.
Hello, hello.
All right. So first and foremost, how does Reidus and Cletus come out of Alex and Clayton?
Alex, you want to field that one?
How does it come out of us?
Yeah, like the name.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I know it's been Clayton's nickname since he was born. Is that right?
Yeah, so I used to be Cletus the fetus. Before I was even born, my parents had a nickname. I grew up in Texas, so it's literally my oldest nickname ever. It's older than me, I think. And then Alex Reid, forms Reidus. And we always joke because we always talked about starting a show. And we were trying to think of like different like cool names for it. We should call it like Car Revival or all of these other names. And then I was like, we should make it stupid. It should be just like Reidus and Cletus.
Reidus and Cletus. It's just funny to say. Every time I tell somebody the name, they laugh, and I think that's good.
Well, it's definitely memorable, and it's not something you're going to get stuck with that just it doesn't make any sense down the line if you ever get into any other venture. You know,
Right.
yeah, this isn't something purely automotive necessarily. You could move into whatever you want to move into, I suppose. It's an interesting little show. So let's kind of just start at the fundamental, beginning of this. So the show is a Corvette and U2 for the most part, right?
Well, that was episode 1 was my Corvette. And so each episode's going to kind of follow a different car we buy or a different road trip. So it's going to be more than just the Corvette.
But you will see the Corvette return because long-term goal, Clayton, I think, for the Corvette is that you do want it to be perfect because it's actually quite good in person.
Yeah, no one believes me, but it's actually really nice. So, I mean, down the road, we'll do an episode and it'll get painted and actually finished. But for right now, it's kind of fun to drive a rat.
Definitely.
Yeah, rat vets are always fun. And it's weird that you managed to find fiberglass that rust. Like, that's just mind-boggling.
It's just open. It's open fibers on the front brown part. It's not rusty. The frame is brand new underneath. You can see the video, and when I show up, I actually am quite impressed with the car. I mean, it's got a brand new frame. Everything underneath is brand new. It's really quite good. It just looks kind of bad because the paint's not too pretty.
What paint?
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah, the car actually failed through eBay without any bids because we saw it on eBay. We were always at work Skyping each other terrible car ads like, hey, you should totally buy this piece of junk. And the Corvette came up, and I said I was interested in it, and it sailed right through the auction without a single bid. And then afterwards, I called the seller. And I was like, "So that car of yours?"
Yeah, and it was actually I think it'd been about a year and a half, maybe even 2, like almost since the time that I met you, Clayton, that you wanted a 1969 Corvette. Actually, you wanted, right?
Yeah, so that was my lifetime goal, honestly, since I was when I was 8, I got a little a book, and my favorite car in that book was a 69 yellow Corvette. And ever since then, I wanted one. And then, yeah, just about last year, I finally had scraped together enough pennies to actually seriously consider buying one. And so Alex and I took turns sending each other Corvettes that we should or shouldn't buy. Well, I shouldn't buy.
Yeah, because it is your dream car. My dream car is a little bit different.
Well, what's your dream car?
Well, my dream car has always been a Datsun Roadster, the little Japanese convertible that's kind of like an MGB. I just love those cars and always have since I rode around in my dad's. So about 2 years ago, I actually
having a
because I was starting to get serious about it. And then that kind of reveals itself later.
Kind of losing you at the moment. I'm going to let you know. Like, we're getting a little staticky and you're dropping off. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, crap. That's not good.
It's yeah. You're
the technical issues don't just stop on Reidus and Cletus, the TV show. They continue into our everyday lives and experiences.
Yeah, it's a wonderful, the wide, wonderful world of the internet where we take 2 steps forward in progress and take 1 step back. It seems.
Just adding complication.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah, this is.
It's funny because things that really shouldn't work.
So yeah, the show's a good time. I mean, it's not strictly. Am I really terrible?
No, there's so much lag. We can't tell who's. We're all talking at once. It's like a CNN debate or something.
Oh man, and I'm talking from a basement. Everybody knows you don't talk from a basement.
Ike, you were saying?
I'm just enjoying this right now. No, I was going to say, you're the second group of people to do the interview coming from Canada, our Great White North. So, I expect, with the signal having to travel international border, maybe that's the issue going on here.
It's just having trouble going through customs.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's one of the crazy things about the car, too, is you bought it. Where did it actually come from, and how long was the trip before it got to you guys?
So the crazy thing about the car was how long I owned it and never saw it, or the title. I bought it sight unseen from Fremont, California, which is outside San Francisco. And I had my brother, who lives in L.A., drive up to this guy's house. And with the money, I wired my brother the money. My brother just literally handed this guy every dollar in cash for the car. And then it got on a trailer for Detroit. It essentially was shipped on an open trailer all the way to Carl Wood's house, Carl in Detroit, a fellow opposite lock user. And he actually kindly held the car for me for a few weeks until I was able to drive down to Toronto and see it for the first time. And I had owned it for like a month and a half at that point. I had never seen it.
The funny thing about that, too, is also that when you bought it, I mean, I told you to buy it, you bought it, and then what you did was you flew out to Calgary to visit me.
Yeah, I had already booked a trip to Calgary for, other reasons. And so I was hanging out in Calgary, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, somewhere in California, I own a mystery Corvette that I haven't seen, and I have no money in my bank account, and it's sitting there.
And it got delivered when you were at my house, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I had to fly all the way to your house to put it back together.
Yeah, it was a lot of miles.
Yeah, a lot of miles, a lot of money, but a lot of fun, too.
Yeah, I also imported it myself. I handled almost all the paperwork myself. I did that. It actually wasn't too bad. It's the first time I've ever imported like a classic car into Canada. And as long as it's an old car, the process is pretty good. So that was something I learned on the show. The border guys were also completely unfazed by it. They act like it was like the third 1970 Corvette with no paint that had rolled through their bay that week. They just completely unfazed.
Oh, yeah. I can't imagine. Maybe a lot of beaters are coming through. What with the Canadian dollar to American dollar difference now? I don't know.
Well, actually, I took a bath on it. I mean, I think the Canadian dollar is about 80 cents per right now. So I essentially paid $8,500 for a $6,500 car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the fun of exchange rates. See, like, we just need to get on like a common currency in the world. I vote for what? Not Bitcoin, but what's the dog coin? The Dogecoin?
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
I am totally against that. I am totally against the Dogecoin.
Did you lose your money in the Doge market, Alex?
I lost big money on the Doge market. The sale of memes has gone through the roof, and it's devalued my memes. Also, did you know that dog actually lives in Calgary?
Really? Oh, did we lose Alex?
Alex, come out of the basement.
One of my best friend's girlfriends knows the girl that owns it. What's that?
Oh.
Yeah, man. It lives here. Isn't that terrible?
Are there plans to get the dog on the show?
Ooh, that would be fun.
I really don't want to. I think that's a bad idea.
You'd have it. Listen, that's internet style points right there. What? Much Corvette. How wow. Like, why not?
Oh, no. Oh, no. I think we might have to end this call, Ike.
Our whole show is about internet style points.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex and I actually, when it comes to cars, we both agree that looking cool is the most important thing, and we really suffer a lot for these cars.
Oh yeah, we do, definitely. We boiled in the heat for that car. We freaking boiled for the Corvette.
That was the one thing I wish we had explained better in the show, is actually how hot it was. It turned out to be, after Alex went home, I read an article that said that when we built that car, which was only a 7-day period, it was the hottest week of the hottest month of the hottest year ever on record for Toronto.
Oh my God. It was awful. And there's one day that we had to cut out of the show because we didn't shoot any of it, but where Clayton had to go to work and I spent all day working on it in the hot sun by myself.
Yeah, you freaking died that day.
I did die that day, and then I died again the next day, and then I was reborn when we got to drive it.
Yeah, no AC in that thing either, huh?
No. Not outside.
It came with AC when it was new, but I don't think it's had a compressor in it for a long time. Actually, it also didn't have power steering when it was new, and last night I took the power steering out of the car, so now it is no air conditioning, no power steering, hardly any mufflers. Yeah, it's pretty fun now.
So now you'll actually be able to lift your beer, if it is your beer.
I can never figure out whose cup it is.
No.
Yeah,
So, I thought it would be a good idea to let the people know kind of who we are, because we're kind of, I guess, unknown, I would say.
Well, we're ready to get to that. First, we set the groundwork for it and how much fun you guys have, and I was going to pay you all a wonderful compliment of the charisma on screen between the two of you is quite good. Almost like you've been working together for quite some time. So
too long.
So maybe
we haven't actually known each other for really too long at all.
Well, let's go back to the beginning and tell the people, maybe how the dynamic duo became, and maybe how you came up with the idea to do a show like this in the first place.
Well, I remember the first time I met Clayton, we had gone to a movie through some mutual friends, and I actually don't think Clayton went to the movie, but he came afterwards for us to see, or maybe you did go to the movie. And so we go outside, and here is this teal 1966 Chevy Impala 4-door. And this thing is mint. Like, this is a mint car. It's beautiful. And here's Clayton with big furry hair like Jesse Eisenberg, wearing a gray hat that says electric on it. And I just thought, this guy is the biggest jerk. He was cocky as hell. I was like, geez, I don't want to talk to this guy ever again. And he left, and I was like, who the hell was that? And then a few years down the road, we ended up going to State together, right?
Yeah, State is a technical college where we went to school. So I went to photo school, and essentially Alex went to video school.
Right. So we went at the same time. We weren't in any of the same classes, but we were kind of close, and still close through our mutual car friends back here when Clayton lived in Calgary. And then I don't know, a couple things just happened. We realized that we're both insane car people, and then we just started talking like every day, just like about cars.
Yeah, but that was only about, I think, 2 years ago, if I remember right. So I've only known you for 2 years, which is just kind of short in the cosmic scale of things.
Well, 2
I
years.
know,
is...
but I was looking at Facebook today. Actually, it's just for you. It's like friends since 2012. That's...
Do we start?
Yeah, we haven't known each other too long, but it's like we've been knowing each other for our whole lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've known people who got married who've known each other for less than 2 years, so there's that.
We're not planning on getting married for another few weeks.
Ike, don't give away the secret. I've already bought the ring.
It is Canada.
True.
I mean, it's a coffee ring on the hood of my car, but it's still thoughtful.
I mean, is it nice being able to just put coffee on top of the car and not give a shit? I mean, it's got
coffee. I actually don't drink coffee. The coffee's all Alex. I'm a beer drinker, not in the mornings maybe, but yeah, we have used very many different places of that car as a cup holder. It also has like a tray where the wipers should go. The car has no windshield wipers, and So sometimes we just put all our beer cans and stuff in the tray while we're working on it. That poor car.
Clayton says he's a beer drinker. He's actually a tea drinker.
I do like tea.
He is tea over coffee, which is fine. It leaves more of the good stuff for me.
Yep. Oh, tea. What's wrong with you? Oh, Canada. That's right. I keep forgetting.
Hey, I grew up in Texas. I've only been in.
Right.
I guess I moved in 2000, so I've been here a while.
Clayton's actually American, so I mean, you're dual citizen.
Hence the Corvette.
Yeah.
You can take.
Well, then I should have a Bricklin then.
I don't think anyone should have a Bricklin.
Come on, gull-wing doors. It'd be cool. It's like the Canadian DeLorean, your favorite.
The Canadian DeLorean would actually be an amazing band name, I think.
Hey, you know what? That could be the title of our next album.
Oh, there you go. So, you got the Corvette. That's episode 1. Episode 2 is coming out when?
I think Alex and I talked about this. Basically, we're taking a break for the holidays in terms of release of content because we know that we try to release stuff at the end of the month. We know that if we release stuff at the end of the month in like December, no one on Earth is going to be on the internet. So I think we're looking for a late January launch date for episode 2. That will be the plan. But we're really kind of constrained on how often we can shoot these because it's our own money. It's really expensive to shoot all these. So this is not, as much as we'd like to, this is not going to be a weekly thing. But the other point of that is that we save up our content. We shoot for a long time, and we don't release stuff until it's 100% done. And for example, episode 2, I believe, spans 2 years of shooting for episode 2. It's going to be a giant episode, but we don't like splitting stuff up into multiple parts or releasing it until it's a finished product. So our stuff is going to take a while to make, and hopefully it's quite enjoyed when it finally does come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, episode 2 spans over the 2-year period of me restoring my car, which is a 1968 Datsun Roadster.
Yeah. So you got that dream car going on then. So
it is it's half a dream car.
Well, I'm sure by the time the episode comes out, you guys are very good at hitting your deadlines. You drove the car down to the meet in Chicago, meet up with everyone. So I'm sure the Datsun will be the same thing, like right on time, right on budget, right?
We did arrive eventually.
Yeah, I'd still like to go down to Chicago in one of our cars, wouldn't you, Clayton?
Yeah, Chicago. I got to go to Chicago in a cool car just because we got burned so bad the last time. I remember our goals changed like 3 times. It was like, we're going to drive to Chicago, and it was like, we're going to go drag racing, and then it was like, we're going to drive it. And we did.
We're going to go to the beer store.
What's a better place to go with a Corvette? Yeah.
I think the Corvette road trip's in the works. I actually visited Tim Weiss, another opposite lock user, out in Maine recently. I really like those roads. I think it's really, really cool to go back there with a cool car to rural Maine on what's that island called? Desert Island, Maine.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I really want to go down there in the autumn like you did. I love the autumn. I love the colors.
Trees. Trees are fun. That's going to be on. I think that might be our first T-shirt from the show. Trees are fun.
Trees.
They're fun. So we got photography background. We got a video background. It does come off because one of the things I was most, not to be a little disparaging here, but I'm going to tell you. So one of the things I was kind of shocked when I watched this is a lot of times you see people's first endeavors at doing video work, and it's horrendous a lot of time. And I remember watching the episode, and I was like, I just hope it doesn't suck, and you completely blew my expectations out of the water. It was, shot well. You had great angles. There was a eye for the narrative. There was an eye for the visual, and there was like a very good, I don't know, maybe, trying to think of the word here, framing component to it too. So you obviously had someone else to help you out with some of the shots. So especially when you were around working outside the shop, I don't want to spoil anything if anyone hasn't seen it, but I guess it's kind of spoiled. Who knows? Just go watch it. It's great. If you're listening to my voice, you won't be missing anything by going and watching it. It's a great episode. You should go watch it. But, you know, I don't know. Like, you guys managed to, like, kind of nail it first outing, and that's very impressive. Like, did you guys work on other projects before this at all, or is this the first one?
First one.
Why do you gotta be so good?
That being said, it's our first real feature-length show. But I work for an automotive publication, so I shoot shorter car reviews, 3-minute things for as my day job. And Alex, I mean, he went to school for TV. He edits TV news, so
I'm actually at work right now. I edit news all day, every day. So it's I've probably edited maybe 900 stories already in the 3 years I've worked here because I do 2 a day. So I mean. Yeah, it just ended up working really well for our first episode, and it actually, a lot of it is just the two of us. The whole time that we are outside the shop, out in the hot sun, it is just me and him. There isn't anybody else. Yeah, the hot sun stuff is just me and Clayton. That's it.
It's a lot of self-shot. I think the only parts we didn't shoot ourselves was there a few parts in Detroit. I think we had Carl shooting some stuff, and we had a friend. You might know Stan at the beginning. He's helping us with some of the vacuum. Sometimes Stan holds the camera, but a lot of time it's just Alex and I. But we're glad you noticed the production value. It's something we really worked towards. So it's glad you noticed that. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks for the nice comments about that. We were really hoping that people didn't hate it. I was really hoping.
It's impossible to hate. It's what you want in a car show. It's, the Team Clear Coat guys are. We gotta fix this. The Team Clear Coat guys are. Everything is more than just what it appears to be. I don't know what. Are we losing something going on?
I can hear you. Just a little delay.
I'm still here.
Oh,
I'm still here.
All right. I was confused there for a second. So no. So. Now getting back to my train of thought. No, so what we all want to watch, especially with shows like Top Gear, is it's about the cars, but it's more about the camaraderie between the people who are on the show, and you guys got that nailed down pretty fucking pat already, which is a great starting place to get off and get going with it. So I would have liked to have seen the dash cam, of you two driving down to Chicago, beaten and defeated by the Corvette, and then sweating out for your asses. But maybe that's just me. So.
Yeah.
We were debating right up to the point where we didn't do it. We were debating driving. Honestly, we would, the day after we got back from, we found loose suspension bolts. We found leaks in the radiator. We're like, oh my God, this thing would have made it 2 hours. It was fine to drive around at low speeds, but on the highway, we would have really been taking our life in our own hands. It's probably better that we didn't rush it.
Yeah.
Well, how hot was it at the border? It was 39 degrees at the border when we were going down to Chicago in the Suburban. We would have blown up the Corvette. We would have blown it up.
In Celsius. So that's I think 98 or 102 or something Fahrenheit.
You double it and add 32.
Don't ask me to do math.
That's why we're car people.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to the car Isaac Newton.
He was a physicist, not a mathematician.
Yeah.
Also, I love his figs.
Physicists have to know math too. They have to know more math.
This is a good point. But do physicists have to know temperature?
Well, if they're doing it,
depends if you want your steak cooked or not.
Also depends on thermodynamics if you're in that kind of field.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
How do we get here?
This is how the show works. You two should know this.
But yeah, we're excited with the show. We got a few projects for episode 3. We're kind of tossing out some few ideas. There's kind of a few projects underway, so we're just glad there's enough interest to merit doing an episode 2 and 3.
Yeah.
The most important part of every relationship is that second date, because once you get that second date, they're interested. So
yeah,
same thing in video. So let's just say, because I'm very curious about this now. So you got projects you're working on. The idea is to kind of cover over the next, like, let's say, dozen episodes your own project stuff you're working on and everything, more or less.
Yep.
All right. So.
Succinct answer.
Yeah.
I thought I didn't want to cut you off.
No,
so basically we're trying to, I mean, it's going to be, everything you see on the show will be cars that Alex or I own. But we're also talking about revisiting projects, finishing up stuff. I know Alex still has work he wants to do on his current car. I do as well as road trips too. And we're also thinking about doing comparisons because we have multiple cars. So comparisons amongst them. So we're not essentially buying a new car every episode. I don't think we could afford that.
No.
That would be a very cool formula, but I don't know how often we could repeat that. But yeah, we're gonna mix it up with what we have.
So what?
We're gonna have some fun toys. We really like to. We're kind of a lot of shows kind of focus on American cars, and I think we're really gonna try and be different and kind of do our whole thing is, cars that are meant for the junkyard. So it's cars that people don't want. So we're going to be hitting more than American cars. We're going to try and get some, maybe not Euro stuff or nothing newer than 74, but try and get some old cool JDM stuff or, they didn't call it JDM back then, but Japanese. We'll get some Euro stuff. We'll try and get a few different things that maybe people haven't seen too often. Because it seems like, for one, most car guys that call themselves big car guys or muscle car guys don't like the Corvette.
Oh yeah, Corvette owners are the meanest people I've ever met about that thing.
and lots of car guys, they'll be, it's like, oh, I love a '69 Chevelle, I love a 1970 Mustang, or blah blah blah. But they'll see a Corvette and go, ugh, Corvette, and I don't get it. I like the Corvette.
Well, obviously, I think the Corvette might be the manifestation of the middle-aged, middle management American, and maybe that's what they're rebelling against. So.
Yeah, but then anybody who says that is just a friggin' old fart driving around in a 1967 Mustang.
This is true.
It's such a hypocritical thing.
I wouldn't mind having a 67 Mustang, that being said.
Oh, I would also love a 67 Mustang, but I also don't crap in my pants.
Give it time.
Yeah.
I'll set my watch.
I would love to see you guys bring that Corvette to the Corvettes at Carlisle Nationals. That would be hilarious.
Where's that?
Oh, it's Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's not too bad from Toronto, is it?
It's an 8.5, 9-hour drive.
Oh, come on. We did that with no roof. Oop, I'm saying too much.
When I was shopping for the Corvette, I actually sent some emails to the local NCRS guy, which is a National Corvette Restoration Society, the people that check valve stem caps for correctness. Anyways, I was talking to them about what I should look for when I buy a Corvette and yada yada, and he sent me a message back months later. He's like, Clayton, I'm really excited about our talks earlier. Did you eventually find a Corvette? I'm like, yeah, I did. He's like, send me a photo. We'd love to see it. And I sent him a photo, and that was July, and he hasn't replied.
That's awesome.
So I think I've been kicked out of the NCRS.
That's fine. You're accepted in the Reidus and Cletus club.
But I mean, our show we're trying to show, the stuff that you can buy for 4-digit money. The Corvette was expensive because it was a Corvette, but it's my dream car, so I spent more on it than I should have. But I think a lot of the stuff we're trying to do is show, the kind of fun you can get for a car for, as little as $2,000 or $3,000.
Absolutely.
And you guys have some, stuff up there that us, ugly Americans can't get our hands on. Some of that fun Japanese small stuff, like you said. Some weird French stuff. You had, different brands for a long different while, and
also Skodas.
Yes.
Do we have Skodas here?
Briefly, we got Skodas and Ladas. Wartburgs, not so much, but yeah, we got some communist stuff, and I would love to get some communist junk, especially a Lada. That'd be so fun.
Fun fact: my grandma once bought a Lada in 1977. It was canary yellow, and she bought it to piss off my grandpa.
I would do it.
Because he liked Cadillacs, and my grandma hated his green with gold trim Cadillac. She said that it was the most unreliable car she'd ever drove, that Cadillac. And one day it broke down on her, so she took the keys and threw them as far as she could and went out and bought a Lada.
The Lada is the Cadillac of Moscow.
Well, let's not make a mistake. The Lada was also junk, but it had the added bonus of pissing off my grandpa, which we all loved.
I really hope it was the one that was made out of like cotton compressed into like.
Oh, that's the Trabant. That's a German. Right. That's a German car, actually. We didn't get the Trabant. That's a I don't think they exported those for good reason. Mm-hmm. But on the topic of cars that we can't stand, one of the ideas we had for an episode is we each buy each other's least favorite car. And I know what Alex's is, and I think he knows
I know
mine.
what yours is.
But maybe an episode we have is where we each have to drive the car we hate the most, and we see which one is the least terrible.
Or we wreck them.
I don't like wrecking cars, even if they're cars I don't like. Yeah.
I'll wreck your car.
It's already wrecked.
That's true, because it has no horsepower, so what's the point?
Yeah.
Actually, never mind. The car that you hate that I like also has no horsepower.
None of the cars we like have any power at all. That's the thing. I remember getting smoke from the lights in the Corvette recently. What was it? It was a V6 Mustang, full-on rental spec. And, I did clutch drop, straight pipes going, tires chirping, and this V6 Mustang just walked past me. So these cars, I mean, we're never building for speed. I mean, I think the most recent cars we have actually been terrifying at about 60 miles an hour. I wouldn't want to go that much faster.
Oh yeah. The other episode 2, there's a little bit of terrifyingness happening.
A little bit of near-death experience is good for ratings, though. You got that going for you.
That's the thing. Terrifying when it happens, but then when you get home and look at it in the editing suite, you're like, wow, this is going to make for a great show.
Yeah, that's the best thing that could have happened. Maybe not for my heart, but for the episode.
I think we always try to aim for near disaster, because actual disaster is, expensive, but near disaster is really fun.
Yeah, well, luckily we don't buy cars that are, I mean, we've only both bought one, but we're going to try not to buy cars that are so clapped out that they shouldn't be on the road. We're not being dangerous. We are really picking our dream cars to restore and revive, because we've had a couple comments, people going, oh, you're going to ruin the Corvette. And it's not true. I mean, it really is Clayton's dream car, and mine is mine. We're saving them. I really hope people understand that we're not just fixing them up for, a couple bucks and then driving them. Even though we do that initially, we are going to be hopefully bringing them back.
It'll be fun to see the progression too as it goes along, between beater to beauty queen.
Yeah, and of course I could be completely lying, because I could run out of money next week.
Well, we all could. It's we're all car guys, so that's a very real possibility.
Yeah, in fact, the Corvette actually lost yesterday. I finally fixed its distinctive Jetta turn signal up front. That finally went in the garbage bin.
You did?
Yeah. Well, I haven't replaced with the actual grill, but we had to remove it to get at the wirings. And we're not replacing it. So yeah, it's just hanging there for now. The Corvette's off the road until the spring and until it gets the season comes back again.
I think you need to save all the parts and sign them, so that way when you guys get big, you can mail them off to fans. That'll be your Patreon thing. That's
actually a good idea. The Jetta turn signal actually.
It's probably worth more money without your name on it.
That'll be like the equivalent of the Carroll Shelby signed dashboard. Is the Reidus and Cletus signed Jetta turn signal?
Yeah, it makes the glove box fall off. It makes it stall and then not start again, like every time I drive the Corvette.
We actually haven't gotten a single comment about the car in the background during the Ital Motors segment. I thought for sure people were going to be noticing the little Alpha back there, but I don't think anyone's picked it out yet.
Well, now that you said something, no one's going to make mention of it still. But that's not the point. No. No, I had a thought and it evaporated. You guys are having some sort of weird effect on me. No, I remember back to it. So let's just say then we'll move this thing down the road, 4 or 5 years. This is, taking off. You guys are the new, Matt Farah, and Mr. Regular combined, that sort of thing. So you've been given an unlimited budget to do let's say 6 months, like 6 episodes, do whatever you want. Is there like something you would like to do with budget being no issue?
Budget being no issue.
Yeah.
I think keeping things within a budget actually kind of helps us stay relevant. But that said, I think Alex has always wanted to do a trip down the coast, and I've always wanted to do a Route 66 trip in something that was unfit to drive.
Yeah.
Also, I think we both really want to find like some exotic, something like a Maserati Ghibli or a Jaguar E-Type or something that's really prestigious, and just find a really ratty one. And
I would love that. That would be my ultimate.
A ratty version of an actual blue chip car. It would be a dream.
Well, I mean, if money's no object, does that mean that we get to buy a nice car? Because I think half the fun is building it. That's half the fun of hanging around with your buddies and drinking beer anyways, is seeing the progress of something you've built become something,
That's true. I get that.
But I think, Clayton really loves the Maserati Ghibli. I don't know what I'm choosing. I'm a big Ferrari guy. I've always loved 50s and 60s Ferraris. I'm a Maserati guy. I like Italian cars. I really like kind of late 50s open top Ferraris and Maseratis. So I don't know. Maybe, of course, all those are accounted for and you wouldn't be able to. But I mean, if I could have something like that, or like a Jaguar D-Type or an XKSS, that would be probably my ultimate. Some of those cars. Even a replica, because some of those replicas are well made. Clayton hates replicas, but some of them are actually pretty good.
I have such a thing against replicas or tribute cars or whatever. I'd never liked them.
Yeah, well, there's been a few featured on Petrolicious where Ted Gushu goes to some place and it just, it is a recreation, but it's absolutely perfect. And I would really like something like that.
I think you're allowed to have a replica as long as you drive around in bare metal.
Oh, I would totally do that. But yeah, I wouldn't have something like built on a Beetle chassis or a Fiero. That's a replica. I'm thinking like a total recreation. That would be my ultimate.
I think I want like a real car, like a real Cobra or like a real GTO, and I would get the license plate that says replica.
That would be great.
Just piss off all the purists out there. Yeah.
Maybe not piss off, just confused would be what I'd be going for.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling like there's a very fundamental part of both of you that just wants to show up to like a concours style event, or concours d'elegance, or like even something like Corvettes at Carlisle, and just baffle everyone else who's there.
I think we like the reaction.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I think we like attention. We like attention. That's what we like.
We should start a show.
We should.
With us.
What should we call it?
Our names.
Okay. Clayton and Alex.
Good.
I like it. Let's do it.
I was going to go with Fetus and the Canadian, but it's just
Fetus and the Canadian.
Those should be our CB call signs.
I like mine. I don't know if you like yours.
Breaker 19. This is Fetus.
10-4 Fetus. This is Canadian. We got a 1020 on a 420 carbine.
Of course it's 420.
Yeah.
Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
You guys, it's like America, only more pot and more gay. It's and Timbits, I guess. Which
the gayest pot you've ever smoked.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of funny the kind of classic cars that have survived in Canada, because that's why I went to the States to buy mine. Is that it seems like in Canada only the weird cars survive. Like you will not find a ratty Corvette or Camaro, Chevelle, whatever. All the weird stuff seems to stick around. You can find all kinds of weird Japanese stuff, Buicks, Pontiacs. So hopefully that kind of shows up, because that's just kind of what we run into in our, we always scan Kijiji for the $2,000 to $5,000 section.
Yep. Fun fact in the... Sorry?
No, I was going to say, you said fun fact. That lag's killing me.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say that if you're ever looking for a Challenger, Edmonton, Alberta, it's freaking full of them.
It is the Challenger capital of the world.
I don't know what it is. I was looking for one a couple weeks ago, and they just kept showing up, all ratty, all on some farm far away from the center of town, for way too much money.
Yeah, that's the number one problem I have looking at old Mopar shit, is I don't like my ideal Mopar would be one with no motor, so I could put something actually reliable in it. And
Same.
Yeah. But everyone who owns a Mopar, every Mopar person I've ever met in my life, someone who's owned 2 of these, I can speak highly of this, they're all nuts. Everyone who's obsessed with Mopars is absolutely crazy.
They are bonkers.
Yeah. And they all say the same thing when they find an old Challenger, Charger, whatever. They go, I know what I have. Cash only, price firm. God damn it.
And they're always it's numbers matching. It was one of only 37 that came with a left side cup holder, 2 sun mirrors in pale green with a red interior, and a bumper sticker on the left corner. Very rare. Wow.
Yes, it's one of the 100 left that has a 3-speed and a 318.
I think the 318 is the worst Mopar engine. The Slant 6 is cool because it's weird, and a 340 can be built for power. I think the 318 is just nobody purposely goes out and buys one.
It's a truck engine.
Yeah.
Even then, a truck engine's a 440.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. You got it. You hit the nail right on the head there.
That's some good improv right there. Yes, and no. I don't know. Mopar people are just batshit crazy, and that's kind of why I like the Corvette you have, is because the only people who I know who are a little bit more crazy than Mopar people are Corvette people. When it comes
Corvette
to
people are crazy.
They're very pure about it. They want it to be, every example to be the absolute best it could possibly be, and they never appreciate just kind of ratty rods. Finnegan and Freiberger, they had the Corvette where they chopped off the frame and welded it on, and they said they never got so much hate until they did that. It's yep, that sounds just like Corvette people.
Which is really, it's exactly what you're saying is true, because when I was shopping for this thing, it seemed like the only Corvettes I ever found were perfect cars that were done for $20,000 that I couldn't afford, or cars that had been on fire and had no there was no middle ground. It seemed like you bought $1,000 Corvette or you bought a $20,000 one. So finding one in the middle, a car that needed work but could be brought back reasonably, was so hard. For some reason, people either neglect the Corvette completely or they restore it, with a toothbrush.
Yeah, and neither one of those things is really enjoyable for the true car enthusiast. So.
No, I just wanted to drive it. If I had $20,000, I would have bought one with paint. But yeah, so many of them, have been I've seen the worst Corvettes. I think I've seen ones that were pulled out of swamps.
Yeah. And then on the exact opposite side of the spectrum, though, you have the Datsuns, which were all just kind of left to rot. And then sometime around the mid-90s, people went, oh, these things might be worth something someday, and pulled them out. And still left them kind of neglected, and only a few crazy people actually bothered to restore them.
Speaking of crazy people,
that's the thing about them. That's the thing about them, is that it just happens to be that I've never seen a nice one for sale. They are all ratty. Every single one of them has floor rot. Every single one of them has ruined rocker panels. They're all sitting just somewhere. They're all ratty. There's never a nice one. There are. If I'm part of a Datsun forum, 311s.org, and there's obviously some nice ones on there, but you just see they show up everywhere, and they're always terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't imagine how extra awful Canadian Datsuns must be.
Well, you won't have to imagine for much longer.
It's true.
Yep. They're lightweights.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, speed holes, even if it's rust, it's still technically a speed hole, right? It's
organic.
It's organic speed holes. Colin Chapman still doing work from beyond the grave.
You know, Alex's dad actually literally chipped a Datsun. Alex's dad has had like 1 million of those Datsuns, and he literally chipped one out of a block of ice, and I think he paid like 6 cents for it.
Yeah, he paid $500 for it. Most of the parts were encased in blocks of ice, and he rebuilt it.
Right.
Still has it.
I know it's Canada, but blocks of ice.
The most Canadian thing ever.
No, the way it would be the most Canadian thing ever would be as if the way he melted the ice was by getting a moose to come pee on it, and the way he lured the moose was by Timbits and coffee. So.
We don't know that didn't happen.
I'm actually fairly sure that is how it happened. I actually think then after the ice got supple enough, he used a beaver tail.
Supple?
Crack it apart. Yes, supple.
Mm-hmm. Is that one of them French Canadian words?
Yes.
I don't know how Quebec's going to react to the Corvette because they are very strict when it comes to their vehicle modifications and vehicle standards. They don't even like people with lowered cars. I don't know how they're going to react to it.
I don't think you'll ever drive your Corvette to Quebec.
It's on the way to Maine.
Oh, right.
Who going to go through?
Oh, well, you know what? We'll put a blanket on it.
Do you parlez-vous?
You buy me dinner first. Wow. I am actually born and raised Canada, and Clayton almost is, but I do not speak French at all.
Well, I'm kind of curious now that you bring this up. So you both are driving around older cars in Canada. Like, is it like the States where each province or whatever has its own rules and regulations when it comes to vehicles and standards and maintenance and all that?
Well,
go ahead, Alex.
Alberta doesn't really have kind of inspections they have out of province inspections when you buy it, which I had to get for my car, which Ontario doesn't have. But Ontario does have inspection. You have to have an inspection every 2 years, right, Clayton?
Yeah, it's a biannual inspection, and they've got emissions tests for cars that are newer than 87.
Right. So Alberta doesn't have that. They don't care.
Alberta's the Wild West. I mean, I actually never had a car safety inspected at all until I moved to Ontario and learned that was a thing that people had to do.
I had to get another car that I owned safety inspected when I bought it because it was more than 15 years old.
That seems weird that you have to get it safety inspected if it's older than a date.
Yeah, it's 15 here. You have to, if it's 15 years or older, the insurance company will call for just an insurance inspection, which isn't the same as an out of province or a big safety. It's just kind of making sure that it's semi roadworthy and they're not going to lose money on it by me crashing it into a pole.
See, that was my favorite thing about the Volvo is I bought it and I paid Maryland a couple bucks and they said, "Here's your plates." And I said, "No safety inspection, no nothing." And they went, "Nope." I went, "Cool." So now back in Illinois, when I moved out of there, they never did safety inspections. So that was even more Wild Westy out there.
We saw some crazy cars when we came actually to see you during the Oppo meet.
Mm-hmm. What you never said in the movie. You never said the meat's name. I felt so sad.
Well, we needed permission first, so we didn't know.
Oh.
We'll put an Oppo sticker on, or an Oppo Meet sticker on the next car.
Excellent. Well, I just realized I have to mail one to someone. They asked me a while ago, and I never got around to doing that.
I think I took like 800 of them the last time I was there.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do another one next year, so you guys have to come down for that, obviously.
Oh, you can guarantee we'll be there late.
In Chicago? In Chicago again?
We're still looking at locations, so we'll talk when we get off air here in a bit. But we're still looking at some locations and trying to figure that out. So,
cool.
I like it.
Yeah.
If you make it in Toronto, we have a shot of showing up in a cool car.
Maybe two.
Hey. Ooh, that's another good question. So if you guys come down on our road trip to the U.S., are you going to take one car or both cars?
Probably. One's enough trouble as is.
We've thought about that actually. I think it'd be really cool to do a 2-car road trip. It's definitely a lot better for the banter if we're both in the same car. But I think it's kind of cool if we both have cars that are kind of competitive against each other. If we both took them, kind of, I don't want to say Top Gear style because, we're really not like that because we actually fix cars. Well, I mean, they don't. They just buy them and drive them, and then they put big tires on them and do something goofy. But I love Top Gear. But I think we could do either way. I'd like to do both.
It could be fun. It does represent an extra challenge for filming when you have two cars and literally two people behind that can work a camera. So you got to get a little creative with that. But I like filming the whole thing Survivor Man style.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun to shoot.
It's, you think about the challenges. It's two of you trying to film both of you. And the Survivor Man thing is like, the one thing I really appreciated about that show was you would see him, do the thing where he walks away from the camera to get a beautiful shot. And then they show him coming back because he's got to pick up the camera and bring it with him, which is always hilarious to me. Like, why wouldn't you just... Why do you have to do that? If you're going to show us... never mind. But, so...
For the authenticiousness.
Yeah, there's a certain truth to that show that was very entertaining, and you have that same line of truth going through you. It's very genuine. So it's a very... I can't say enough positive things about it. Like,
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I don't think we have the resources to make it look like a big show. But I mean, it is something we really tried to do, especially through the edit. We spent a lot of time editing. I think the edit of episode 1 was, I think, like a solid week, if I remember right. It was a lot of hours.
Well, you started editing it the second I left.
Oh, really? So I guess it's closer to like 2 or 3 weeks then.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. You, as soon as I left, you're like, hey, I got the A-roll done. And I'm like, are you joking? Actually, I think you showed me the beginning of the episode while I was there working on it. You're like, hey, this is all the part of the bringing the car back. And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, because, episode 1 was, we shot that over a span of, I want to say, well, the first scene was shot in July, and then the ending was shot in October. So we weren't shooting every day, obviously, but that was a long span of shot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm gonna beat you.
That was the other thing, is that Alex actually bought his car before I bought my Corvette. But
I shot the whole thing first. I was shooting everything first because I was actually planning on doing like a kind of a video update every week. But then I just never did because I was like, I don't have enough content.
Well, that was before we decided that we were going to do a show, actually. Alex's car predates the show. And so actually, as Alex was working on this, he's like, oh, I should make like these little like how I did this widget. I'm like, we should make it into like a grander video. And that kind of started the discussion on having, an actual feature-length show.
Yeah, now, here's one of the things I got to find out, too. So you both live... How far apart are you two right now?
2,271 miles.
So...
Miles or kilometers?
Ooh.
Miles, I think?
Yeah, somebody Google that, but it's a long time.
I can Google it. I won't Google it.
So,
I think it's, we live 4-day drive.
Yep. Long time. Long way.
So basically opposite coast?
Not the coast, but I mean, Alberta's kind of Midwest, and Toronto is actually central Canada.
Yeah,
but far. It's not like I can just visit him every weekend as much as I would like to, and for us to do crazy car stuff. It's not easy right now for us to make a lot of episodes.
But I do like the time crunch it puts on us. It's always kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's like when Alex shows up and he has 7 days in Toronto, we have 7 days to get it done. There's no other time. But yeah, in between episodes, it's a lot of Skype conversations trying to plan stuff out.
Yeah, a lot of wanting to do stuff and kind of going, oh, well, can't really. That's too hard and blah blah blah. But that might all change.
Well, it's very similar to the way Roadkill is, because Roadkill has, the two guys, and they're always on a time crunch because one lives in Georgia, one lives in L.A. So there's, that time and distance, and maybe it's the time and distance that makes the heart grow fonder and the wrenches work harder. So.
And the beer drunk faster.
Good God, yes.
Yeah.
So, what is the drink of choice then when you're up there drinking and working and wrenching?
In Calgary, I'm gonna say it's a brewery here called Wild Rose, and they do a beer called Velvet Fog that we are both absolutely in love with.
So good.
It's amazing. It's just a great, great beer. Can't say enough about it.
Sponsor us, please. I want a brewery sponsorship.
That would be great.
Mm-hmm. You guys might have an easier time than that up there than we do down here, because whenever you talk to someone in the alcohol world and you say, hi, we represent an automotive thing, they go, we don't want any part of that because people drink and drive in negative context. I know. But see, it's two great things that are, great separately, and you don't really want to mix them unless you're wrenching,
No, and let's just clarify, we don't. We don't drink it.
No, never.
Don't drink it. It's totally not cool. No, you don't do drugs and drive. We don't do drugs anyways. We're totally against that. Even though we say, built on a beer budget, and we do enjoy a beer, yeah, we definitely don't condone drinking and driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That would be a hard stance to justify, I think. Like, very pro drinking and driving.
Well, we're actually going to have to explain that because in a future episode, we're like hanging out by the side of the road, and a guy pulls over and hands us a beer. So there we are. So people are going to look at it and be like, how are you guys driving out there with the beer in your hands? But no, literally, we had somebody drive by and give us a beer. So, and I wasn't driving. I drank the beer. Alex had a sip.
I had a sip, and then we sat there for 2 hours waiting for AMA.
That was a fun day.
That was not a fun day.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's because it didn't cost you any money.
It was a great time.
It actually didn't cost me any money either, but it cost me a couple of lines on my face and some gray hairs.
Yeah, that's for the clip in the trailer where I honked the horn at Alex. That was where that was from. Alex was at his wit's end trying to diagnose this problem, and I thought the best remedy was to have him lean in close. It's like, check the radiator right by the headlight. Lean in, closer, and then I honked the horn at him. Thought I would cheer him up.
I think I strangled you after that. I think I did.
Was this before or after you got locked in the car?
Oh, that was way after.
It's a
funny.
Corvette.
It's really funny with what happened there was actually, Peter SV. He came over, and the guy that has no experience with doors because he's a motorcycle guy had to come by and break me out. I think it's just because he's got girly little fingers and he can get his fingers into all the mechanism and he could open the door. I hope you're listening, Peter. You can punch me in the gut when I see you again.
Yeah, the door thing, I mean, as you saw in the episode, the doors when we got it were like really, really bad. And the other thing was that I was at work for a lot of the show. So there was a lot that you didn't see because I was in the office doing my day job while Alex was tinkering with the car by himself. And one of Alex's many projects was to get the doors to actually work. So you notice that like halfway through the episode, the doors just start working perfectly. It's because Alex was messing with it. But yeah, in the process, did kind of entomb himself in the car for a bit.
It goes both ways. First of all, you can't close the door, and then it gets stuck in them, and then they finally do work.
I think too. Didn't you have your cell phone on you and you were posting it to opposite lock as you were stuck in it?
He was like live tweeting it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
That was one of my best posts.
That was your opus.
That is my opus, is getting stuck in a Corvette in 33-degree heat.
Celsius again, man. So it's 66 plus 32.
33 would be 86. Sorry, 88.
Yeah, see, that's not hot. What?
Yeah, but it's 90% humidity here in Toronto. That was the killer.
You know what, Ike? You can do the next one. You could come up to Canada during the hottest heat wave, and then you can go back and be like, "Oh man, Canada's really cold."
I've seen Ike's project cars, man. He's crazy enough to do it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I've driven now. Okay, I got to do the math here. So I've driven because I'm an idiot, and I blew up one Volvo. So I blew up the Volvo with the air conditioning, and then I was driving around the Volvo without the air conditioning. It was 101 degrees here, and the heat index was 125. So that was fun with no AC. So yay! Like
that's the car guy weight loss regime.
Yeah, it's effective.
Sweat it out.
Yeah,
I experienced that.
Oh,
I lost 20 pounds working on the Cletusvette.
That's why you got to take in more beer. You got to keep the carbs up. You know.
I was only drinking beer. I wasn't eating because Clayton only keeps flipping jalapeno Cheetos at his house.
I don't even think I afford a Corvette, man.
Well, it's not by buying food.
This ain't the Ritz.
That's all you had. You had Ritz and you had Cheetos.
That's a food group.
They're both cheese. It's one food group.
Well,
I'm going to go into my Seinfeld. They're both cheese. It's not a food group.
See, but that's where the Skittles come in, because if you have fruit-flavored Skittles, that counts as a fruit.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheese is basically a vegetable, and Skittles are a fruit. That's good.
Well, technically, if chocolate's a vegetable.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Well, because it's a bean, right?
Did a vegetable tell you that?
Veggie Tales lied to me.
Oh, let's not get down that route. So since we're already talking about food, this brings us, in the wonderful world of segues, which I've forgotten how to do apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Not writing them, talking about them. Let's talk about what you gentlemen think is the hardest food to eat while driving.
Ooh,
Yeah.
pho.
What?
It's pho.
See, you can eat pho while driving. For those of you who don't know, it's Vietnamese soup. You just sip it. You don't have to use the spoon. You just and slurp.
How do you get the noodles?
Well, eventually they come into your mouth.
It's true.
Ooh. I guess it did buy me. I bought myself dinner first.
Yeah, listen. It's kind of like being faced fucked. I get what you're saying, but it's fine. First you get like the little warm up. You get the little pho. You get the good taste in your mouth, and then eventually the noodles on their own accord just enter your mouth hole, and it's all good.
I got graphic.
Let's get Gordon Ramsay on here.
I actually have little experience with that or food, because actually eating in cars bugs me so much. I never eat in any of my cars. I don't use drive-throughs. I think the only things I've eaten is on the really long road trips as a passenger. Sometimes I'll munch stuff, but even then, I'm even in my Corvette, which has no interior. I'm cool if people smoke in it, but you don't eat in the car.
Well, that's all I
Don't
do
eat
in
your
cars.
cigarettes.
Yeah, don't eat your cigarette.
Yeah. Well, it goes in the mouth hole, so again, it's kind of like the same thing. That's shocking to me, because eating in the car is such a great thing in my mind. I don't know why. It's like the freedom of the open road and getting fast food.
It's like shower beers.
Yeah. Well, that's good. No, especially when
Here's
you
another thing about eating in the car is that Clayton, you still left that Three Musketeers bar under the passenger seat of my car. I forgot to bring it to you. I forgot to bring it for the trip, so you're getting it for Christmas.
Oh boy.
Yep, it's crisp.
Oh yeah, I did eat chocolate bars, and then I left it in the floor of his car for a few months. But it's chocolate; it doesn't go bad. It's a vegetable.
It's freezing here. It kept it cold.
Yeah.
It is so cold. I couldn't believe it. It's minus 22, which is, I happen to know this, minus 9 Fahrenheit, where Alex is today.
Yeah, it was cold today.
You guys got snow yet?
Oh yeah, big time.
I miss snow. It was like 50 degrees here, which I don't know what that is there. It's above zero.
Yeah, 50 degrees is that's 12.
Yeah, it's so. Why is your math so funny?
I just know the conversion table really well.
It's that news thing, isn't it?
Except it's actually 9.
Oh.
Are you looking at it?
Oh.
No, I did it in my head.
So
See how long it took me?
So I was only off by 3? That's a win, dude.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. Me too. Team both.
Team both.
Team both.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
That's a thing that we thought of when we both think the same thing. It's team both.
I get okay.
We both like it. Team both. Are you on team A or are you on team B? I'm on team both.
I'm on team whichever. Yeah, whatever team you want. Not even in my car.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Not even Taco Bell?
Taco Bell's so messy.
Okay,
it's got sauce and stuff.
Oh no! So you remember when we went to Portillo's when you guys came down and met?
That was pretty good.
Okay, so you know how messy that food is?
It was very messy.
Okay, I have eaten that probably on the order of hundreds of times in my cars.
That's actually like kind of impressive.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I never make a mess, but like, ooh, what did you guys?
You should put that on a resume.
I wish I could. No one else finds it as impressive as I do. No,
Still Portillo's on my lap at 60 miles per hour.
Pronounce Portillo.
You got to put the
Portillo.
Midwestern twang. Oh, come on.
I'm going to do it in a French-Canadian accent. That's all I can do.
Now do it as Jerry Seinfeld.
Portillo's!
There you go.
Give a hot dog! I want the hot dog and the fries. You can't have a hot dog without the fries.
No, the dipped Italian beef sandwich with the sausage stuffed up its asshole is...
Dipped Italian beef sandwich with the hot dog stuffed up its asshole in my Porsche.
Eating that in a car, I feel, should be allowed to be put on a resume because I can eat one of those and not make a mess, and I'm quite proud
That is
of
impressive.
that. Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a skill that could get you like on the space program.
You know, I gave it to NASA, and they said, no, you can't go to space. We're a racing place. I was like, this makes no sense. So
To eat Portillos where no one has before.
That should probably be my tagline, to be perfectly honest.
That would be a really good subheading.
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to change the Untitled Car Show to Ike eats Portillos wherever he wants car show.
What if I had like a comedian in cars getting coffee kind of style, like Ike in a car eating Portillos?
And not talking to his passenger. Oh, I can't talk, I'm eating. Shut up.
So tell me about the thing you're doing over there. You want some of the sausage? It's good. Yeah.
I would watch that actually.
I should send him a sponsorship thing. I'd be like, here's my idea. There's enough people who are famous based around Chicago. I could probably get away with that. It's not a bad idea.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. That could go along with my cooking using cars cookbook idea too. I think that'd be good.
A manifold burrito. Actually, we should get that into an episode because that is a trait I have done before. Is you wedge the burrito, the gas station burrito, between the top of the intake manifold and the bottom of the air cleaner, right next to the carb. You drive around, and it won't cook like raw meat, but it'll warm up a gas station burrito perfectly in about 20 minutes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I wanna do baking with cars. I think that would be fun. Like when you get to your make what?
Oh, I was gonna say I want to make some eggs on side pipes.
That would be fun. And you guys have
I want to make
side
some
pipes.
bacon on the side pipes.
Yeah.
Bacon side pipes.
That'd be good. Smoked bacon.
Ooh.
Get not the right kind of smoke though.
Yeah, it's smoke-ish.
It tastes like gasoline. Like it maybe not 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe have a medical team standing by. Yeah, there's a few things you could cook with a car. Manifold burritos are one. I saw a guy fry an egg on a muffler. That was interesting.
That's a good one. That was loud. Sorry about that, everyone listening.
Did you drop your Portillos?
No, I did not. See, I can't get it out here, and you guys are mispronouncing it. It's driving me nuts.
Portillos, sorry. Alex
Is
pronounced
it
it wrong, and now I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm doing it on purpose to annoy you because I'm Canadian.
Yeah, that's what you guys do. You're like our
Is
little...
it Portillos?
Portillos, yeah.
It just sounds wrong with the two L's, but I just feel like it should be Spanish, but I guess... Oh, it's probably Italian, isn't it?
It is Italian, yeah.
Okay, so yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it is
I think
Portillos.
you're firmly in the wrong here, Reidus.
You know what? I'm used to it, so shut up. You can't make fun of me. I make fun of myself.
Oh, man. Cooking with cars is fun. I think that's a good cookbook idea or something.
We should leave you with this idea to marinate.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, food segue. Check that out.
Yeah, no, look at that. Yeah, it's something.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Well,
Have you seen those? There's a few people that have actually had success. They take cookies, and they put the batter on the tray, and then they leave the tray on their dashboard on like a really hot day, and they say that they can bake cookies just from the heat that's generated in the car, and their car smells like cookies afterwards.
That's not a bad idea.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah.
I forget who figured that. I think it was NASA again on that one.
I think I saw actually Steph Schrader of Jalopnik might have even done that.
I think she either did it or wrote an article about it.
I think you're right. Yeah, and we're getting kind of way off into the weeds at the moment. So, yeah, here's let me go back here and look at my prepared questions. So let's see here. We got the budget. Here's an interesting one I want to know. Favorite cars for sale today?
Like new cars?
Yes.
Alfa Romeo 4C, the only one I want.
Really?
That's it.
It doesn't even have a frunk.
That's perfect. See, I want the most the least user-friendly car possible. I don't like cars that are easy, and it has no trunk, it has no carpet, it has no muffler, it has no power steering. I drove one a while ago, and it was pretty great. I think that's the new car I want the most. Alex?
Anything made by Aston Martin.
That's a good one.
V12, baby.
What about the little Signet they make? Or they don't make that anymore, do they?
Put a V12 in it and I'll buy it.
Yeah, Aston Martin's good. Both good choices. I'm impressed. You gentlemen know your stuff.
I'm a big Aston Martin fan because David Brown actually died the day I was born. So I feel like his soul was transferred into my body.
There's some science behind that.
Yeah. Did he
Not
ever
really.
come across your mother? I mean, let's...
Made up. It's made up science.
Weird science.
Mm-hmm.
Weird science.
All right, let's go with least favorite cars for sale today.
All of the other ones.
Yep.
All right, let me change the question. You are allowed to wipe off one make of a particular brand of car.
Oh man, so many I don't like.
Yeah.
Frick.
I'm gonna go with Buick.
Just as a whole.
I think they're just a horrible failure of what they're doing. Every time I see a commercial, the commercial's always like, they drive up and it's like, is that a Buick? That doesn't look like a Buick. Wow, is that a Buick? And it's like, you're literally saying to anybody that likes a Buick that nobody likes a Buick. So they look at it and go, that's not a Buick. Buicks are ugly and terrible. Ugly and terrible.
It's true. I always like those commercials that are like, this isn't your grandpa's Buick. It's like, well, thank you for insulting all your previous customers.
Yeah, okay. Frick, I'll have a 70 Skylark right away.
They should have a tagline that's like, thank goodness you weren't a schmuck who bought one of our cars 3 years ago and we were terrible. That's essentially what that tagline is.
Yeah.
I became a grandpa in 3 years with these 3 simple steps.
I'd like to wipe Honda off the earth. I really like Honda. They used to have a lot of products, but they just keep failing. The TSX is a bomb. The NSX took way too long, and it's not really what people wanted it to be. The new Civic is a whale. I mean, they just can't get it right.
Yeah.
They are bombing. I don't know.
I mean, look what Honda was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, wow, it's 2006. I mean, Hondas were light, they were nimble, high revving, naturally aspirated, affordable, and relatively good looking. I mean, it's economy car. It's not going to be a supercar, but they were attractive. And I think they've really lost touch with their core values. They keep making more tech-laden, obtuse to use, heavy cars that aren't really Hondas.
Their bikes are good though.
Bikes are great.
I'd just like to point out to everyone that in this dystopian future, smart cards will still allowed to be a thing. So we got
if people want to use less gas in a smart car and leave more for me, I am all for it. If you don't care about driving, I want you to use the minute amount of fuel possible. I'm all about smart cars, electric cars, autonomous driving, just not for me personally.
Yeah, everybody else should have a smart car and a Tesla, but I'm going to be having a gas-guzzling monster.
Ooh, Teslas are great, though.
Teslas are good cars.
It feels like getting punched in the stomach. They are so fast.
They are very fast. Yeah. There's so many brands to come off. Now, here's something to kind of finish us off. Can't speak. Let's go do a podcast when we can't speak. That's great. Here's a question to finish us off for the evening then, I think.
Perfect.
What is the pet peeve you have, or to put this in our way, what's the worst thing about other Canadian drivers?
Ooh.
You know what? It's that I experienced it today, and they just get worse. I mean, people somehow think that because it's snowy that they don't have to stop for stop signs. And that's it. Because they do. They will come up to an intersection, you can see them, and they just go. And it's just not smart because if there is ice, I'm not going to be able to stop. But their thing is, oh, well, that guy probably thinks it's icy over here. I'm not stopping for this stop sign. And it's just awful. I mean, today and yesterday, I drove to work, and I have snow tires because I believe in them because I have a light car. And the ground was dry, and people were going 20 kilometers below the speed limit, which is about 1 mile per hour below the speed limit in America. And it is just, people just, they don't drive for the conditions no matter what they are. If it's really terrible out, they drive like madmen. If it's really still nice out with snow on the ground, they drive like grandma. I don't get it.
I think the biggest problem I noticed with Canadian drivers is that they're honestly way too polite. It's like it's so funny. It's like the fatal flaw. Like sometimes I'll be asleep at the wheel and I'll be sitting at a light, and no one will honk at me to remind me. I'll just be sitting at a light for a while and it's green, so I look up and realize it is green. Canadian's the most courteous drivers I've ever experienced. And this does present a problem though when it's merging. It's kind of like that. I call it the Canadian standoff, when like two people each hold a door for each other and no one will go in. But it's like that would merging. It's like two people each slow down because they're like, oh no, after you, and then nobody merges. So that's the only thing.
Sorry. No,
Sorry.
Now, because we all know the worst drivers in America come from Maryland. Where do the worst drivers in Canada come from?
The driver's seats.
Vancouver. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can't answer that. I haven't driven in all of Canada. I've driven in lots of Canada. I haven't been all over Canada.
If you learn to drive in a place like Quebec, you will be a damn good driver, because that's where my dad learned to drive, and he's insane.
There's lots of rally drivers from Quebec. It's a big thing there.
They're just fearless. Absolutely fearless.
For better or worse.
And that's mostly because all their roads are falling apart, so you can't be scared when you drive. Otherwise, you just won't drive because you're like, well, this overpass could just fall apart. No fear.
None at all.
They got them French Canadian cars with the pneumatic suspension, right?
Oh, of course. It's high tech.
Yeah.
Actually, what? No, I was just gonna say, what is a French Canadian car? I was gonna say not the Hellcat because it's made in Ontario. But
that would be the Manic GT, based on Renault 5 underpinnings with a sporty body, manufactured in good old Quebec.
Actually, that's a good car.
It was a good car. There was one for sale. Somebody had plopped onto a 1978 Honda Civic chassis. That must have been a fun thing to get parts for. A Manic GT Renault 5 first-gen Honda Civic mashup. You drive a what?
Only in Canada I think that could happen, because you go to the parts store. I'm looking for parts for this. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a Manic.
Yeah.
A Manic what? A GT.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that like a Lada?
Actually, you can get parts for Ladas because they were sold here. Canadian Tires, if you ask nicely, will give you Lada parts, which I think is so funny.
Wait, Canadian Tire will?
You never heard of Canadian Tire?
I assume it's like just a tire supplier.
Oh, Canadian Tire is like a Canadian entity. It's like Canadian Walmart, essentially.
Ah.
No, it's not like Walmart. It's like it's just a big hardware store. You can buy.
I guess so. It's more like Home Depot.
You can buy from guns to car parts.
It's like they started out as a tire store and became this like giant conglomerate. But anyways, they sell car parts, home fittings, and stuff. But I used to work I worked at Canadian Tire for a long time, and inside the parts catalog, deep inside, are a bunch of Lada parts that you can order through.
I'm so jealous. I wish I could see Ladas occasionally, and I never can. And that makes me sad. And to know it's so close, and yet will always be so far away. I feel like there should be an exchange program. Like the Lada owners should be required to drive in the U.S. just to like keep us on our heels. Like,
just because they're here doesn't mean they're capable of driving anywhere.
Oh, I saw a Lada 2 days ago.
Was it driving?
It was on the street parked, and it's not there now. It's a Lada, one of those. Is it the Riva?
Wait a minute. Is it that black one?
Nope, it was green.
Really?
It was on my street. No, I've seen a few of those.
They're popular because they sold for like $6 new.
Yeah, and they don't die. They're great for Canadian winters.
Yeah.
They don't die. They just limp along forever.
Yeah, well, they lived along forever when it was built.
It's
Also true. You know, I feel like they should be forced to, like I said, like an exchange program just to keep us Americans on our heels. Like, hey, listen, the communists, they can always come back. You never know.
An awareness program.
Exactly.
If the commies win, this is what we'll be driving.
Yeah. Do you want a Corvette or you want a Lada? You pick.
Yeah. Capitalism, communism. Make the right choice, son.
Mm-hmm.
I want that poster.
That's a good poster, actually. We should do that.
Mm-hmm. A Lada and a Corvette, yeah. What's the Russian equivalent of apple pie? Would it be apple vodka? Because that might bring me back to their side.
It's actually vodka borscht.
And the communist equivalent of apple pie is apple pie that you don't get.
Apple pie you have to share with your friends.
There is none left.
And on that note, I think it's just a good time to go out. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. So if people are looking to find the show, where do they go?
Well, first of all, we have a pretty active Facebook page. We are Reidus and Cletus on Facebook. And on YouTube, we are Reidus and Cletus, the show.
And that's spelled Reidus.
And Cletus.
Mm-hmm.
Cletus.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
YEP.
Yeah, we also have little pages on Twitter and Instagram and all that. We try to keep posting our little adventures as we go along.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think. So on Twitter and Instagram, same thing, just Reidus and Cletus?
Yes.
I think it's Reidus Cletus Show.
On Twitter.
All right. Well, I'll make sure that Justin Hughes, when he does this, he verifies those are correct. So, hi, Justin. This is your homework. It's so much nicer having him to write up everything.
Yes, yeah. Twitter, I just checked. So Twitter is at Reidus Cletus.
Okay. That works for me. Everyone, go check out the first episode. Follow them on the social media. Follow them on Facebook. You won't be disappointed. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining me. Hold on 1 second, and I will say goodbye to you off air. And everyone who's listening, please hold on. I'll be right back with you. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ike.
All right. Whoop. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you tell a friend, loved one, coworker about the show. Remember, you can subscribe on iTunes. You can any podcast app of choice. You can visit us in browser. If someone's interested in listening to an automotive-related podcast, we're one of the easier ones to get a hold of. Make sure you're kind of spreading the word, because that's how we grow here as a little community. You can follow me on Twitter at Untitled Car Show, or on Instagram and Facebook. Just search Untitled Car Show. Follow Ryan West at Ryanator122 on Twitter. Look forward to a lot of new material in the new year. Other than that, have a good night. Have a good evening, wherever you are, whatever time it is there. Thanks so much for listening. Be safe out there.